During the War of 1812, British Admiral George Cockburn marched his troops into Washington, D.C. as President James Madison and citizens left the city. But little did the British know, the prayers of America would prove stronger than any army.
Cockburn goes into our White House, he sits down and has dinner, and then he torches the place. Then he goes to our U.S. Capitol and has all of his soldiers sit in our congressmen's seats, and they hold a mock Congress, and he says, "Who votes to burn the Capitol?" They all say, "Aye," and they burn our Capitol. They burn the Library of Congress, the Treasury, the Patent Office, the Navy Yard. And then the sky begins to grow dark, and the winds begin to pick up, and tornadoes touch down and pick up British cannons and throw them yards away and knock down roofs and chimneys and slate on the British soldiers. Lightning begins flashing and slaps horse and rider to the ground. And Admiral George Cockburn exclaims to some lady, "Great God, madame, is this the kind of weather you have in this infernal country?" And she said, "No, sir, this is the special interposition of Providence to drive our enemies from our city." Well, they're driven out, and the rains come and extinguish the fires. One British historian says more British soldiers were killed by this stroke of nature than by all the arms the Americans could muster in the feeble defense of their capital.
And you attribute that to the hand of God?
Oh, well, the Founding Fathers did. And it was shortly thereafter that James Madison had a day of fasting and prayer.
2 weeks after the War of 1812 had officially ended, the news had not yet reached New Orleans. 10,000 British soldiers had their sights on General Andrew Jackson and his troops.
So the British attack, and about 2,000 British die in the attack, only 8 Americans. And
do that again. What was that? How many?
2,000 British die at the Battle of New Orleans, and only 8 Americans. And Andrew Jackson was the general, and he exclaims how every ball and bomb and rocket that the British fired missed, but every one of ours had a mission of death. And he goes, "This was Providence, God intervened." And he writes letters to the Secretary of War, and he talks about how the hand of Providence has been so obvious in this battle to give us this victory.